some of your feelings to support Natalia here in her business?
Yeah, I think one of the things we touched on just in our back and forth a little bit, and I think you give a great intro about what your business is, and that doesn't quite come through right when you hit the site. So it's a little bit like, is this, I mean, you can kind of see, but it's kind of blurred out. So is this a supplement? Like, is it, what is stress destroying my body, and what is the product going to do? I think you explain it really clear in your words. And so that's something that can come through a little bit more in like, what's the product, what's the benefit, and who's it for? And if this is where you're sending people, how quickly can they get that?
Okay.
Yeah, like that how you just prescribed like 2 to 3 orgasms per week, like that, I feel like should be your headline here, you know?
Yeah. I want it to be safer. I always wanted to kind of elevate the conversation. So we don't use language that would make, scare anyone off. And it's always like, and that's why I did it like this. But we've had so many different headings, and I found that women were like, well, there's nothing on the heading that makes me want to wake up and pay attention. So that's why I wanted to hit on stress first and aging, because women don't realize that stress is the #1 killer of women right now. So due to elevated cortisol levels. So I'm like, okay, let's talk on stress and aging first, because that usually makes them pay attention to everything else. And then when you scroll down, then you'll see more of an explanation of what we do right away.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, do you know how much of your site is the traffic by people on a screen like this or on a mobile device?
It's mostly on mobile.
Okay, and that's critical. I think that's critical to know. Let me see if I can do that. Let's all look at it from a mobile perspective. So on a mobile, it's a lot of times we get in this space where we're working on our e-commerce properties, and we don't actually look at it much this way. But I think one of the things that jumps out to me is, I think when I first started looking at this, I did think that I thought it was maybe a skincare product.
Yeah, I know. It's really a really hard industry to be in, like in this new kind of industry that's not really being talked about, because I'm like, how do you position yourself where moms and everyone is not uncomfortable by the talking of it, and it doesn't scare people right when they go. So I don't really want to like burst out with the product just so that they kind of get that time to read down, because then I show it again right in the next photo. So I'm like, okay, at least I'm telling you right what it is, and then right below that I'm telling you what it's going to do for you. And I'm hoping people will scroll, but most of the information is on the product page, so I know that people usually click the shop page right away. So that's the clickable button that goes right to the shop page.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, my comment was just going to be, I totally want to recognize that it is a really hard balance to strike. And I think just that on that homepage, and then I think we will go through this, just seeing if there are any like really small shifts where it can add a little bit more clarity on the upfront. Like I think Keegan said, your prescription is this to solve for this, just to answer where am I right now?
Yeah.
Maybe even using the word prescription.
Yeah, I liked that idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Something great to test, right? Like the messaging is hard, so there's another reason to test what works here. And even if you just showed a little bit clearer of a video of the product, maybe the wording wouldn't be as confusing.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then somebody just said in the chat, like, using the word prescription is hard. And the thing is, we already have medical, when it comes to pleasure, the sciences and everything has already been claimed. And so we're not claiming our product does anything. Obviously, we're claiming that self-pleasure does these things. And right now, our product is being prescribed by pelvic floor clinics and sex therapists and therapists. So we are being prescribed right now.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't see that here.
I know. I don't know. This stuff is like happening. Like this website was built like a couple months ago. And so like it was like redone a couple months ago. And so as that happened, like all this is happening right now. And I haven't touched it since all the new stuff has happened. And we're also the first Health Canada certified company in Canada to be in this space like this.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, and I think that that is very normal, Natalia. It's very normal to be like, you're a business owner, and I have like all this stuff. I've got paid media, partnerships,
Yeah.
marketplace, whatever mix of things are on your plate. And the thing that we sometimes forget is that this is the place where the sale happens.
Yes, that's true.
It's so easy to be like, oh, we just did that 6 months ago. No, every day somebody's here making a evaluation
Yes.
on it and what it does. So one of the things that I wanted to, we got to get to the next one. We are gonna, I do want to hip you to like other products. Are there other products in your competitive set that you really like?
So what we kind of looked at first was what were some women-owned brands, some health-focused brands that were dealing in sexual wellness.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't any. So there wasn't anyone in my style and what I'm doing. So I kind of just had to look at both. So I looked at how the medical side is being advertised, and also how skincare and how all these different things that people buy on a daily basis, how it's being advertised. But there's no real competitor right now, so there's no one to look at.
Gosh,
I do want to call something out related to that and your competitors that I think will be relevant to some of the other product companies on this call. You touched on being Health Canada certified, and there are no other competitors in this space. So showing here, how is that different? Is that a grid where you're like, here's why we're Health Canada certified and no one else is? Like, show me why I care that you guys are Health Canada certified. Like, why is that important? And why are there no other competitors in this space? Like, what aren't, typical vibrators not doing that you are?
And where would you show that? Would you show that on the home page?
No, I think you can do that further down on the product page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and sometimes, I mean, you probably see a treatment like in software a lot, like, oh, do I buy this tier of Yotpo?
Yeah.
Tier? And so it could be something as simple like visually a chart. I mean, when you design your website, you're designing your websites for a rational thinking human being. And when people are on mobile devices, I think we find that there's a lot of psychological shortcuts.
Yeah.
Taking, and so any kind of clues that are maybe in addition to this copy that you have here, that mental shortcut, especially on a mobile device, might help you get your message across faster.
Okay. And you wouldn't put it on, because the only room I can see is like on the homepage, because I feel like on the shop page, I don't know if people would scroll all the way down to see more stuff. So I was like, maybe right after the like the initial homepage explanation of what self-pleasure can do, maybe I have my kind of comparison chart after that.
Or like use this area.
Use that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
That is, this is a very underutilized location for things that need a little bit explaining.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think also using that as to inform some tests, like create a section, you can use it on the homepage, you can use it on the product page, see where people scroll to, see if they engage with it.
Okay.
That'd be a great test to run.
Okay. That's amazing. Thank you. I need to show more of what I'm doing in real life on the website for sure.
Yeah. Your synopsis at the start was perfect. Lead with everything you said.
Yeah. Okay. So you would lead with that on the hero image and the hero sentencing.
Oh yeah.
What the product does for you. And I think also it's like you're almost convincing people that might not do this why they should.
Yeah.
Which is another.
Is there anything that grabbed you immediately that you think was something that you're like, that made you pay attention in what I said?
Orgasm.
Yeah. And prescription. Like it's not just like a different spin on using a vibrator. Like there's real benefits here that you want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. That's amazing. Advice.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for being vulnerable, Natalia. I appreciate you. All right, so the next one we're going to look at today is actually a jewelry design. We're going to switch off a little bit here, and Black Betty is the Black Betty here. All right, well, let's I'm gonna skip for right now to see if we also have, I think Actually, let's take a look at another website. We're going to get a little bit racier with Saks underwear. This is really funny to me. Let's go. So let's move into Saks, ladies. First of all, beautiful website. I love the fact that this website is prominently using video on the homepage. I have a husband who complains about holy underwear all the time, and I'm just wondering, what would he be thinking? So, ladies, as you look at this website, and let's take a look. Shall we? Well, let's get your first takes, hot takes, Keegan and Sarah.
I had a look at this homepage and I thought it was only underwear, and it's not. Like, homepage is very underwear focused, and maybe that's the hero product. But that was my first takeaway, is it was only an underwear company. But there's a lot.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I do think they're doing a lot. That's great. I'm curious whether the video loads fast enough, if they did test without video, if they're seeing higher bounce rate or not with that. That's always something I want to test. I do love what they're doing down below, where they have the benefits with the icons a little bit further there. I think that's great, and I love to see that happening because it just makes the benefits really quickly readable.
I would move that up.
Why?
Because maybe they're not ready to shop, switch it with the shop clicks.
Other than the fact that this widget doesn't seem to be working at the moment.
Yeah, there's going to be some performance issues.
Right. I mean, in your view, what is the homepage intended? What should the homepage be doing? Sarah.
Yeah, I think the homepage should instantly tell the story of who the brand is and what we want you to do. So do we want you to buy new underwear? Do we want you to shop the assortment? But also who should set out the brand identity, right? You don't want to pull a cookie cutter. So why do we exist? Which I do think they're doing pretty well right here. And with the video, like, who are we? What's our kind of like tone? Are we serious? Are we fun? I think all of those things should come through on the homepage.
What about you, Keegan? Anything that you would add?
What the brand can do for you. I think Sarah nailed it on all of the accounts, but I think also it should kind of prove to you why you should keep paying attention and not bounce. Like, what are you going to offer me? Comfy underwear.
Yeah. And I mean, this is such a competitive set. Like, it's so competitive to be just in this space. And I understand the problem statement is like, okay, you're buying your stuff from like wherever, H&M, JCPenney. I think JCPenney exists anymore. I'm showing my age here. But this like crappy products, like this is the comment to crappy products. But I'm like kind of sad to see that this was low. This was really below the fold. And so what we're talking about here is when below the fold means anything that is below this very first blush. So below the fold on desktop is this. And so I find, okay, there's a widget that's not working, the touts, the reasons why this is different, and then these here to be at the very end. I think this is kind of a social proof.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so maybe you should call Sarah up to see about this widget that isn't working on your website. When you see the recording. All right, well, let's dig into a product detail page. So this homepage is telling me to shop new arrivals. So I'm going to click that CTA. Hopefully you have data on that CTA so that you can see how many people are clicking through it. But like, what are our next impressions on this collections?
See, it was like all about underwear, and I shopped the new ones, and it's no underwear on the above the fold.
Yeah, the other thing that I think a lot about this is good. They've got a lot of description, price, reviews, color swatches, so you get a lot of information on the PLP without having to toggle back and forth. At the top, I totally agree with what Keegan says, and it almost looks like I started thinking it was a multi-brand site because you see that 365. That may still be the case, but I think that's a fabric or a product name. But to me, it looks like another brand name because they've got like kinetic light compression mesh looks straightforward. Yes, that's a product, but then 365, like those are both named that. So, but it might be multi-brand, so I don't know. So I guess just clarifying what that is. Is it a collaboration? Is it just other products that they're selling? And then if so, how does it fit under the Saks brand umbrella?
Yeah. What about Keegan, what are your feelings on bundling? I feel like this is like, I don't know if there was like a Shopify conference that was like, bundles are it. It's a new thing. And so now everybody as an industry are calling these, when you buy a multiple thing at once, a bundle. Your husband say it like that?
A bundle. Okay. I think that it should be simplified. I think there's decision fatigue when it's all laid out like this. Like maybe the bundles are built once you find the style you want and then you're served the bundle rather than seeing all these variations where you save 15 or 25 or,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like slightly implied right here, but there isn't really any true call to action on it. Like, do you think, Sarah, I think you've seen a lot of other websites too. Like there are tools that allow clients.
Yes. I do want to touch on this because I feel like Mia actually called this out in a project that we were working on in collaboration to the client and said, hey, does your customer know what a bundle is? And I think many do, but it's also an inside baseball term. Like we all know what bundles are because that's what they're called in the tool. But actually, like if you go to Target, are they talking about bundles or are they talking about sets or multi-packs or buy more, save more? Like, so how are we actually using those words on the site? And probably so many e-com businesses are using bundle now, that is shifting, but is it a bundle or is it a set or is it like, because Keegan's saying like, let's clarify what this is for. Is it buy more, save more? So let's just figure out what we're calling it and think about that. In some cases it might be right, but I think what Mia and I were working on, it was actually a set. It was like a matching top and bottom, and nobody calls that a bundle. Like if you go to Free People, they don't say buy a bundle. So like if they say like buy this cute set. So just thinking about the words that we use and making sure we're not using our internal terms.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's coming from like, and also it's not that, in our base insider trading, bundles don't work, is like, it's like, well, people are willing to buy. They're willing to subscribe and save. They're willing to, buy multiple if there's a saving. It just has to be like the right offer. And I think that that's the other thing too. Like, okay, well, what is the offer? This $21 in savings is fairly diminutive. I love a collections page that's actually playing with that right in the gallery itself. All right. Well, in the essence of time, I'm going to move on to another website. Normally we'd be looking at a product detail page as well, but the person who submitted this website is not there. So we're going to move on to something even racier, which is a wet bag. So this is Wander and Perch. Wander and Perch submitted their website. It's a very specific thing to buy for a specific use case. And I am very curious. So number one, is Wander and Perch here today?
Yes, I am. Hi there.
Amazing. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Great to meet you. Tell us a little bit about this product and how it came to be and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for showcasing us. So kind of interesting. I'll kind of talk through the brand really quick, but an interesting and kind of a different, stint at it. I'm not the founder. I'd actually acquired this company in the spring this year. And so right now we're actually going through a big brand refresh, this being a huge part of it. So I thought it's a perfect opportunity to actually, we're undergoing the entire retheme and a change of the product just from a visual sense, but as well the website. And so, yeah, really curious to see your take. And I think kind of how it will align to what we want the brand to be, what it is now as well. But yeah, we make premium waterproof bags that are used predominantly for travel, really to be inspired by like coastal escapes and by, chasing after the sun and all those moments that we all chase and live by, whether you are at the beach or, you're in travel and you want to make sure you have that reassurance that your wet items aren't soaking or leaking into your luggage, or you are changing from the beach or the pool to night and you want to have that security. So that's kind of the gist. We want to chase those nostalgic moments, but we also, what makes us unique is we work with brands to kind of have, whether it be co-branding. So Maybelline, as an example, launched a waterproof mascara. So they will then brand on this, or a lot of resorts as well, even corporate gifting and for different events. So we kind of want it to be a lifestyle forward platform that allows people and companies to share their stories, allow for brand expression, and have, you know, a functional and beautifully designed kind of travel accessory.
Awesome. That's a great overview. I have one last question before we start.
Yeah.
Who is your customer? Who are they?
They are typically women aged 35 to 45, 50 or so, who, you know, loves to live for those moments of traveling and just spending time with the family or friends, whatever it may be. But I think it's predominantly, you know, how can I live for these moments where I'm taking care of me, I'm having that slow living and that calm, kind of peaceful environment.
Awesome. Well, listen, you've got two ladies who live by the beach and two of us are surfers with children. So I have a lot of thoughts are running through my brain right now, but let's let's start with Keegan.
So I'm a big fan of wet bags, and when my friends get pregnant, it's like the first gift I get them, because as a mom, they're a lifesaver. It's my most used item. So I love this. My first, just seeing it, I know what it is. I have a really hard job of user awareness of the category, because it's not something that people see every day, but it's also a benefit. I think the videos and this image don't convey what it does, and it kind of pigeonholes. All the videos on the website are someone standing next to the ocean holding a bag, and that's not how you use it. So that's I think video or just showing a bathing suit coming out of this would do a lot of the work for you.
Yep, totally agree.
And these featured in, that should be up. That should be above the fold.
Above the fold, yes, absolutely. Or possibly in the hero image itself. I also wonder if the hero might be taking up a little bit too much real estate, the size of it.
And the logo.
Yeah, that was my first. I think you've got a lot going on. Really, it's going really well in terms of storytelling and definition of what the product is. But my first reaction was to the spacing on the site and the layout. And I do feel on desktop, and I was actually just looking at mobile on my phone. Yeah, you can see the top bar takes up a lot of space that you could be using for more meaty content. Same thing with that text there. It's a little kind of over large. So I think it sounds like you are refining a lot of that, but I think that'll give you some more space to let's pull up social proof, let's swap in new photos. And I think also a lot you can do there with the mega menu, instead of shop, make it so that every category is blown out. So I see oh, okay, these are it sounds like you're doing a lot with collaborations or style, different use cases. So pulling that up into the menu at the very top level instead of hiding it below shop would be great.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I love that you use the word use cases, because on the last CRO Live Lab, also we had a travel cup. So it's basically a travel cup that can press down, but of good quality material, just not like some tchotchke that you would get at a conference. But they, kind of similar to you, always had their product shot in a camping situation. And the feedback is well, does this limit the user's mind in what it's for? So thinking like everything, like, yes, it makes sense. It makes sense at the beach, but like as a mom of like kids, I'm like, you can throw your like, 30 kid spoon in there as you're traveling. You could throw it in your diaper bag. So use case is the opportunity for you to grow, especially since you kind of already established this nut of customers, it feels like. And as well, that might be something that I would highly recommend that you introduce in your navigation and wayfinding. Like, let's take a look at this navigation altogether. Keegan, what are some recommendations that you would have, like in terms of like the user coming here, coastal, island, resort? What are your thoughts?
That's overwhelming. I would stick to, like I saw on the homepage, there's male minimalist, there's the bridesmaids collection. Going back to like use cases, like you can have multiple colors in different collections, but the resort, island days, coastal, they all kind of actually mean the same thing. But yeah, naming them a bit more based on who you're talking to would be good.
Completely agree. And a lot of this is great feedback. And this is exactly why I wanted this, because these are all things that I want to touch and I'm anxiously awaiting being able to. So this is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I think, for me, we're still getting a grasp around the core user. And so I think it is then really understanding and then highlighting, to your points, the use cases.
All right, let's do one last page and let's look at the product detail page itself. So say we've bought in, we're here, we're looking at your product. Let's see, this is what we call social proof. You've got your quantity, we've got a shop pay, add to cart. It's interesting. Oh, okay. I thought these were going to be accordions, actually. I thought they were going to be clickable. And then we've got an upsell, and then we've got the copy of the product detail page, and then some accordions for FAQs, and then another potential upsell and email list. What are your thoughts on this, Sarah?
So I think a few tests that I would call out or things I would want to look at. I agree, Mia, with you on those. I think it's just the lines in between the icons. So coming up with a lockup for those icons, I think they're great. And then also all of that expanded content that's text-based below. One of the tests we just saw results on was actually having that text in accordions, and specifically on mobile, the default is closed because people don't want to read on mobile. And so they just kind of want to see that it's there. They may or may not engage with those, but I think testing that out and defaulting them to closed seems like it's converting faster on mobile. The other thing I would just say, if you're in like your redesign right now, looking at, are people using Shop Pay for your product, and do you need this here? Or can it just live in checkout? Because in some cases, it just adds a little bit more friction. They're thinking about it. And then I think you can do a little bit more, same as the last page, like kind of tightening up here. So does the quantity selector need to live in that way? But I'm sure your designer is looking at those things. But I think that other organization I would really look at and think about, where are the icons locked up? Where are we actually presenting information in accordions that we can show or hide as appropriate?
I'm bringing that all of those as featured in onto this page too. If someone goes directly to a page, they should see that.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I would, on the mobile environment, think about what are we actually trying to get the story to be, because we have all of this, like the original perfect for wet swimsuits, like, you are, again, like writing these to sell it to somebody who is probably not reading very much. And so thinking about how can you visually communicate some of these things, like, these are icons and text, but I think you also, what are there, some things in the imagery or other things that you can kind of pull on, illustrations that might indicate some of these value benefits too. And those are things like to test, like how does she or he make a decision on this, and what do they need to know? And not only what are the words, but what is the visual communication looking like to quickly get it. All right, thank you so much for being vulnerable as well.
No, thank you so much. Very insightful feedback and really, really appreciate it.
All right, awesome. All right, next up, ladies, I'm going to do, let's see, there are a couple things up here that I would like to reward folks for joining on. And let's take a look at Bodylicious Couture. We are going to move into, I'm curious about your website because I'm wondering what the body part is. Who is somebody from Bodylicious? Who, I can't remember who.
I'm here. I'm Jennifer
Hi,
Love. I'm
Jennifer.
the founder and designer.
Welcome, Jennifer. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, Bodylicious Couture is a luxury clothing brand for women. Our focus is versatility, design with endless possibilities. So giving you pieces that give you versatile looks in seconds.
And what do you mean by versatile?
We have some pieces where we use zippers where you can zip off a sleeve. I have a dress, it's called the J-Love dress, where it can zip off in the center and it goes from a crop top to a crop top and a skirt.
Amazing. Walk me through that. Where can I find it?
Bodylicious Couture.
Or
It's
where can you
on
find the zippered pieces and the crop top parts?
Well, the zipper is in the center of the dress, so it kind of gives you a feel of like a belt detail. So when you zip it off, it turns into a crop top and a skirt. And there's we do make sure that there's an invisible zipper on the side, so that way you zip it up to fit your waist.
I see. Okay, so these are not actual different fits. They're pieces of garments that you zip away things to change. Okay, interesting. I think that's interesting. Where I actually don't see that. I didn't quite get that when I first took a look at your website.
Oh, well, I mean, I can't see that you're on my website.
Oh,
So.
You're not able to see is everybody, can you see what I'm sharing?
I still see the company before, Allison, Lugs, it says Lugs Wet Travel.
Oh, I'm seeing the Bodylicious Couture site.
I'm not seeing it on, I don't know, do I need to refresh? Because I don't see anything.
Possibly. Can everybody give us a thumbs up if you can see Jennifer's website? Quick thumbs up. Yeah, okay. Keegan, Nikki, everybody can see it. But I'll tell you what, Jennifer, maybe if you could show me where, so now I can start to see some zipper stuff going on. I'm going to go to your shop page.
Okay, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone.
Okay, that sounds great. And let's all look at it. Do you think that your mobile device is how most people are arriving to your site?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure of which way, but I feel like with everybody on the move now, most likely it's probably mobile.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think that's absolutely something you should look up in your Google Analytics right after this, because it's going to matter in your next decisions about your website. So we are looking at your homepage in a mobile environment. And what we're seeing is I see a lot of copy. I see the model walking down the street. We're going to go down and then we can see I like a lot of motion on a website. And I'm wondering if also sometimes I'm wondering if this is a little bit too much. Is it telling you your story? But I don't know. What are you thinking, Sarah? Let's start. Sarah works on a lot of apparel sites.
Yeah, I love apparel. And I think I really like your video. I think you're telling the story of who you are as a brand with your photography and video really well, with the exception of like showing that you can like turn a dress into a crop top, which is amazing. And I want to see it. I think this is a little bit too much text for mobile. Like we just know that people don't read. So figuring out, is there, and especially on mobile, it just needs to go fast. So I think figuring out how you tell that story and go even deeper in a more visual way, in a more headline based way, like how can you show those things? And I think it does look like too on your site, you've got some really good social proof, like people who have actually worn the garments in real. I think you have news, things like that. Oh, and you do have like that section. So I think pulling that all up, and that cotton bodylicious couture, pulling that up to tell that story. And then if you can create some video actually showing that zip off functionality would be huge, because that's a huge differentiator.
Okay.
Keegan, what do you see?
Yeah, I want to see a video of this happening. I need to see the zip.
Hmm.
The product page.
Okay, I'm going to go to shop. I'm going to go to a product page. Well, this is on pre-order. Probably that's not available to look at. Is it out?
Look at that J Love dress. One right up, you just scroll past it. It's like
J Love.
one more down.
Oh,
But that one should work too. Oh yeah, shows a little with the
I would have caught that if I didn't hear about the zipper though.
right.
mhm.
I maybe would have thought that that product image was an error. The
Yeah.
second one.
Mhm.
So can you scroll down a little bit more, Mia? Maybe we can look at. Yeah, I think this is a great description, and kind of to my last comment, this sometimes performs even better when it's not the first thing that people see, this block of text. So saying like, maybe it's, because you're luxury, you may not want to use icons, but something about indicating, hey, this is a versatile item. It's a 2-in-1 or whatever you want to call that, and saying this is both a crop top and a skirt and a dress. Like it's all of the things. So figuring out like how you say that here in bullets, I think would be really valuable. And then also this is like micro, but what's the difference between add to cart and buy now? Is buy now taking me right to the shop pay checkout? So just making sure that those buttons are differentiated enough.
Okay.
Yeah, would be another thing to look at.
And
So
some more just information, like even if it's in an accordion, like what is it made out of? What is the sizing? I think when it's a premium product, you need to have the information that they need to push them over the line.
Mm-hmm. And I think the other thing in luxury is just really going heavy on photography. And so this is great. You have it on model, but are you showing the pieces shot flat lay? Are you showing them, here's what it looks like together. Here's what it looks like in separate items. I'm seeing Jeffrey throwing out a suggestion in interactive before after. That would be very cool further down the page. Like I think you've seen those where you kind of drag the slider across and you see, here's the product whole and here's the product broken apart, and people can move back and forth and kind of see it's the same garment. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Participating, Jeffrey. That's a great. And there are also like these AI tools, so you might not always have to rely on studio photography anymore. There's so many AI tools coming out, Jennifer, that you can use. It's like, all right, now that I have this model shot, you can just prompt like, I want to show her turning around and unzipping it. They might be able to do that for you.
Is there an AI? I'm trying to get into using AI as well. So I'm learning that now, but I don't know if anyone knows of an AI app where it's easy, especially with I have a Mac computer, but I have an Android phone. So just to make it easy on maneuvering it through both.
Yeah, I put a URL in the chat. This is actually also a women-owned business who we love to support. It's called AdGlow, and she's actually going to be on the next CRO call talking about how video impacts conversion rate, not only for apparel. I mean, they do well in apparel, but also does well for beauty brands, how products work. You might think about it too for Dot. it's just all these different ways that we're bringing video to life. That I mentioned to you that I really like to see motion on a website because humans have to pay attention there. But it's like striking that balance between too much motion. It's like not motion for the sake of motion, but motion for the sake of communicating something complicated.
Okay.
So
Okay.
also, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. Sihan also put something. Oh, you want us to check out Barboza? Yeah. Okay. Let's check it. Let's check it out. Or are you sharing us? Feel free to like jump in here also, because we can take a look. If you're giving us advice or want to show us an example, we can do that. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming up, Jennifer. I appreciate you. And since actually, Shihan, you actually put this up here 2 times in the chat. So let's go ahead and go to barboza.com. So
Well, thank you guys so much for your input and information. But you said the thing was add glow. Is it AD glow together or
like adding glow, like add glow.
or adding?
ADD.
ADD. Yeah, it's in the chat. But you can see the recording as well. But I can also email it to you. This is like such a like little community, so I'll just email it out.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
definitely come to her session next week or the next one in 2 weeks, so that you can see how her take on video and how video can help support.
And Mia, I do
Definitely.
want to, if we have time, Yahira has shared a few times Queen of the Thrones.
Oh,
So
okay. All right, let's do that next. Yahira will be after Sihan, and thank you so much for participating, everybody. This is amazing. All right, we have 13 minutes left. Let's get into it. And if you don't get a chance to get evaluated this time around, like we'll try to put you at the front of the list next time around. Okay, everybody? All right, awesome. So Shihan, please come up and tell us
Thank
your
you,
name.
Mia. You pronounce it just right. It's Gian. Yeah, that's right.
Amazing.
So, well, let me give a brief introduction to our brand. We are a brand based in Germany, a males athleisure brand, and we mainly focus on men's stretch pants. We noticed that people today want both sporty or elegant, and they want to look that is stylish, comfortable, and ready for anything. So for us, athleisure is the new uniform of the streets, and we want to do it as a male-focused brand. Barboza, we reflect the no-nonsense attitude, like simple, actionable, and made to last. So we we offer casual sportswear that transitions effortlessly from work to play or day to night and everything in between. So our core product is the one that I sent as a link, as the last link. It's the straight pants, and mainly we focus on men stretch pants, and our customer base is aged between 30 and 55 around.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. You have 404 actual. So number one, I wish men in America were this stylish.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we can help give you exposure just on these calls. So tell us about the straight pant. What makes it special?
The straight pants is a well-designed pants made of tech fleece. It has a soft touch, and it really feels like a jogger pants or like a sweatpants. But as you can see, it really doesn't look like that. So we have customers that attend to weddings or any kind of dinner parties with these kind of pants, and we always try to update and upgrade our products. While this is the product that is most lasting in our product range.
Perfekte Hose.
We have it since maybe 6 or 7 years already. We always improve products and introduce new fabrics also. So besides the straight pants, there is the Go pants, which is also one of our top sellers and one of our hero products. But I just wanted to especially ask you to take a look at this product page, because this is, from our perspective, the most refined product detail page. But I can see that some of the elements are not loading right now. So all in all,
yes,
the products we offer are really comfortable. They don't feel like business wear or casual wear, but they feel like sportswear, giving you a really a business look and feel.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I think it's a wonderful product. Can we take a look at it in a mobile experience? Is that okay?
Of course.
All right. Are we willing to bet also that people are coming in? How are they when they're discovering your brand, are they discovering it on mobile?
I would estimate the visitors are 90 to 95% mobile visitors.
Okay. So let's make sure we look at it in that regard. All right. Keegan, what do you see?
I really loved that video showing the passport going into the pocket. And I think now that we're on mobile, it's totally lost. So, no, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
That's a great video and a great use of showing the use cases. That sells it for me. Somewhere safe for your passport. But the reviews is also really great. I think maybe if you also have more videos of like UGC, this is where this comes in really, showing how people also using it would be cool to incorporate. Sorry, like your social feed of videos of it. I don't know if you can see it.
It might be down there. You just passed by me. It was a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. It was up here. Yeah.
So just a little bit further. Up.
Oh, even further than here. Up, further up here.
And there it is.
Ah,
So
okay.
those are the UGC videos we get from customers as well as creators.
I love when people sell your product for you.
Mm-hmm.
They do a better job.
They do a much better job of selling your product for you.
Usually, yes. It's sometimes really hard to get the visually appealing UGC, and you can control it as a brand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I also would wish that customers would really provide more of this, because I love them too.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder, Sarah, do you have any thoughts about I've always been the greatest thing that I love to test out is actually throwing any kind of UGC that's allowed in here.
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially with apparel brands that are a little bit higher end, I know there's some resistance to that, but what we like to recommend is add one at the end or add it in position 2, something that you've curated, you feel really good about, and see how that performs. I think that's a really good test to run. The other thing I just wanted to zero in on here was sizing, because it looks like there is a lot of information around sizing and it's a little bit hard to parse. So there should be like a link to the size chart there. And I know there's also, just from what I quickly looked at, some different measurements for leg length. So like some colors are different. You've got recommendations on if you're this tall, get this length. I would make that easier to access from here, and then maybe reorganize how that accordion panel, because right now it's a huge block of text. So if you expand that size and fit, there's just a lot happening here. So I think figuring out how you present that. I think this might also be missing some links.
Yeah, I just noticed that not everything is loading on the English or the US page.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
usually we have an AI tool for the sizing.
Okay, yeah, I was confused if that was just missing or somewhere else.
But I get the point. So size and fit, it has to be used in text, and the customer has to navigate very much more simpler than now.
Yeah, and I think you do the positive here is you have a lot of really good information that people look for. So I think like where you have the models are wearing tall M, now we're seeing that sometimes overlaid on the product image itself or further up. So taking that out of size and fit and then making this really more about size guidance. But I think, yeah, looking at how you can kind of segment this up to really make sense and be quick for someone to understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shihan, thank you so much. In the last 5 minutes, we're gonna get to Yahera's product.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, Yahera, it is your turn. Tell us about your castor oil beauty hair wrap bundle.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Actually, we're here with a couple of the team members. Oh yeah, Queen of the Thrones is a castor oil and castor oil company. So basically, our main products is castor oil and all the wellness benefits and holistic benefits for like us, like the customers. And like the reason that I send you this product is because I would love to know your insights and like what you feel like will help us to improve our conversions, because that's something that we are actually start to thinking more about it, and how we can get more like sales coming from this beautiful page.
Awesome. I mean, I think, you know, when you're selling bottles of something, it's really tricky to explain what is in the bottle, right? Like this is true for all beauty, health, and wellness. Since you're selling bottles of something also, Keegan, I'm going to let you start. Let's take a look at what we see here. We have like a product detail page, some different bottle shots with the same box. The touts, the value propositions, organic, third-party tested, organic cotton, benefits, ingredients, the wrap, how to use it, and then the customer reviews.
I think there's a missed opportunity within the carousel here. It's all kind of the same photo. I would pull some of that information that's kind of lower up into these as well. There's no, you can say it twice. I think it's important to have it here. I went to like, what is the difference between golden castor oil and black castor oil? So I think anytime that the customer has a question that's not being answered is a conversion blocker in my mind. So like, what's the difference? What am I getting? And they're a different price. And oh no, they're not. So I think being more explicit on what the difference is and like what the value of the hair oil, like, is there a savings because it's a bundle? We're using the word bundle again here too. So what is savings? What's the value add? Those are my straight off the cuff.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you for the insight. Yeah, we usually try to enter the information between what's like what's the difference between the golden sorrel and the black, because it just depends of the usage and like the demographic on the oil. But yeah, actually that's something that we were thinking, maybe adding some benefits on the carousel, but that's good to know.
Yeah, any of these two, like any, you could throw these all touts inside the carousel. And even the benefits, or like, you know, a lot of times these things have a before and after as well. In the same slider that we were telling, you know, the Bodylicious company, like you could do how it's different before and after, you know, before and after what your hair looks like, that those are also valuable features for a PDP.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I would also just add UGC. So those photos are very beautiful, showing really pretty hair, but give me some confidence that it's going to do the same thing for me. So some real people hair, again, those before and afters, we see that a lot in hair. We do that a lot in hair because we know it works. So I think showing that and pulling those up to the carousel, I think would be really important. And then just again, that block of text, I know I keep talking about this, but I think you do it well further down, but what are the key benefits in that block of text and what's the difference? Like what Keegan called out. If I'm looking at golden and I switch that variant, what is golden oil versus black oil? That's like the first thing I want to see, unless, yeah.
And other things that you might want to consider, Yahira, is actually reading what people say here, because like I said, we love how they sell it for you. Sometimes we get into our own brand so much that we just say, oh, it's backed by science, it's third party this, it's this, it does this, but usually they have the words that are resonating for them, and you can try that also in your PDP. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful to you. I think the other thing is when we see a lot of text and a lot of, we're explaining, most of the time you get a drop off at the 50% mark, probably half your audience. So as you scroll down and you think of it in 4 pieces, piece 1, piece 2, piece 3, piece 4, what did I miss? What are they not seeing? Maybe they're not seeing the reviews, and that's bad.
Okay.
So thinking about, you know, on these very long scroll pages where we feel like we have to do a lot of explaining, because again, we're selling something in a bottle and it's hard to do. What is the most important thing I need her to know right now? In the top, at least in the top half, if not in the top quartile.
Okay, got it.
All right, everybody. Sorry for anybody that we didn't get a chance to get to. Like, definitely, I will put your websites at the top. I'll also be asking you if you'll be here so that we can get your vulnerability, teaching how to do CRO, teaching how to test. Do test these insights. One thing that works for somebody isn't going to work for everybody. So do A/B test it. There are lots of tools out there. I'm going to invite you all into the school where you can learn about the different tools. But in the meanwhile, stay curious about your website. It is where the purchase happens. Keegan and Sarah, thank you so much. It's been my absolute pleasure. Everybody will.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.